I like that we've got
All right.
the full spectrum of beard going on here. We've gone from clean to little to real masculine. It's good.
Yeah, I'm out of control right now. I've decided to go full like I don't know, it's almost like a squid or something, or the octopus looking.
Talk to
Squid
me
Game.
about the around the mouth situation because if I let my beard go, the moustache is
Oh,
the
it's
first thing to piss me off.
it's a fucking nightmare, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
I trim my mustache like up and out to here, away from my thing, but basically eating at this point is like I want to be alone. Don't be around me.
Yeah. Just give me a straw
Like
and blend everything.
I'm just like and I just 100 napkins and then late I
Yeah.
just gotta go wash my face.
So what I've
You know,
done
I'm
is
probably cleaner than normal because I have to wash my face so often. But
okay. Whereas
yeah.
Matt's really hiding a filthy face. There's germs everywhere. He just doesn't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
That's when
seriously.
I
This is
think
the
of Matt.
conversation I can't have, you guys. Beard's just
Yeah.
nope. Doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
it's
It's
sad that
not good.
I've seen him
It's
just
sad.
over time. It just yeah.
Have you ever
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
committed to
still
it?
waiting.
What was that?
During like 2020 during the pandemic, I
Yeah,
gave it a run. Nah,
not for you.
Or like we're
Yeah.
on tour long if we're on tour long
not
enough,
for me.
he'll let himself get stubbly and then it's like you can see it.
Yeah,
I can understand. If I was like that, I would definitely not go for a beard.
Okay.
I
yeah.
had
I
like
could do
one
a
I had
stash now, but that's about
I
it.
had like one spot like that forever right under my neck right here. Like it wouldn't grow in like one circle until
Yeah,
I was like a million years old. Now I don't think it matters.
That's the misconception. I think people be like, you
a
hit puberty and
million.
then you get a beard. I was like, man, I was like 32 and then it kicked in. So
Yeah. So there's hope for me, is
there,
what you're saying. Maybe my 50s are
who
Listen,
knows?
most
the
people like
magic
myself,
time.
if you can grow one of these, it's most likely the only place that you're growing hair that is on your
Right.
head.
They do
Yeah, it all
say
Oh,
stops
that.
everywhere
Yeah.
else.
I
Yeah,
Yeah.
see.
so I don't
Okay.
know.
The grass is always greener, is what we're getting at here.
Yeah, when I start going
Yeah.
bald, you start growing hair on your back. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. It's graduating going south. Everything
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
moving
just
It
down.
different
just
places.
pushes
Like,
out.
oh, you didn't want it up there? Okay, over here. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I
Sure.
It
wanted
just
it up
literally
there.
migrates south. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. His toes are an absolute forest. You don't want to see
Oh
that.
yeah, they
No,
are.
actually, my feet
Summertime
aren't.
Josh.
No, actually, my feet are not like that. I don't have hobbit feet. I have actually little dainty feet.
Huh.
Weirdly, yeah,
Well, there's
Huh.
the hot take of the interview.
Interesting.
Everyone now knows. It's
yeah,
Yeah.
very
yeah. I could.
Josh's feet very clean.
Dainty
I'm gonna
feet.
start an OnlyFans for my feet because I think I could get away with it. Nobody would
Yeah.
know
Sure.
my
There you go.
very not manly feet.
Gentlemen,
There's a little
thanks for taking
side
the time
hustle
to
for
hang
you.
out. I'm sorry to instantly derail things by talking about facial hair for too long, but
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, we totally
No, it's
just.
good.
No, yeah, no, it's all good.
we're stoked to have you on here. Generally, it's me and my homie Johnny, but he's sick at home right now, so you're stuck with me. But
Oh, I'm
hey,
sorry.
Bummer.
that's okay. He probably deserved it. It's karma for something.
Yeah.
Uh, you guys have finally fucking coming back to Australia. Hoorah!
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yep. We agree.
I'm kind of surprised. Like it just came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, someone came us the offer. I was like, oh yeah, we actually could do that there. All right.
Okay, well
Good, we should.
that answers the first question because I was going to say like, what was the process? Was it a long time coming? But no, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, we've been working on stuff, doing things here, and in this stage of our career, we tend to just there's only so much of touring we can do, so it's really hard to prioritize what we're up to because our just because people have kids and lives that they can't be gone for super long periods of time, and so it's been kind of hard to fit other places in. I mean, we were going to do some stuff around COVID, and then COVID happened, so it kind of stopped us from doing stuff then.
Yeah.
So and then we just really haven't had a chance to get international to work. I mean, it also has to make sense, and we have to be able to like
Yeah, the
at bare
logistics.
minimum break even doing it. So it's like, it's not like a big windfall type of thing to do. It's definitely uh it's for us and people. It's nice to come back though. I'm really excited to come back to Australia.
It's
But yeah, it came out of nowhere.
what a way
Yellow
to
card
come back
disaster.
though. Like
Yeah. Mhm.
doing a stacked lineup, some awesome venues. That's a cool thing that I think potentially if you had to come out earlier by yourselves, you might not have had that opportunity to instantly
No,
be in
no.
front of so many audiences. Also on an iconic tour. Like that's those anniversary tours are such a big thing, and you're gonna get the nostalgia, which is me, to be honest. Like you guys are a high school band for me that I fell in love with.
Mhm. Awesome.
But also potentially discover new audiences through that way, which is really exciting.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm really happy that we got asked to come. I mean, we haven't really done a tour with Yellow Card other than like Warp Tour type stuff ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think we played a few one-off shows randomly, so it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited. And then Play My Tees are just really old good friends of ours. We did we
Yeah.
did some sound waves where we traveled around with them and hung out
Yeah.
with them the whole time. And they're
Mhm.
old friends from here too. So it'll be a really great time.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited. Which we haven't really toured with them in for anything forever, just a random here and there show. So it'll be a lot of fun, I
Well,
think.
we did that tour in like '06 or whatever with them, like our
Hmm.
headliner. They came out with us, and then since then, it's been
Yeah,
like
really nothing.
one-offs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
really
Just happened
excited
to be
to kind
playing
of
the
have the
same show.
reunion. Yeah,
It's crazy to
Yeah,
think about you
fun.
say like '06, being like, oh, that's almost 20 years ago now.
I
don't think
know.
about it.
Yeah.
I know some
Time, man. It's just a construct.
That's the move. Yeah,
someone.
exactly. Oh my God,
I was just talking about high
crazy.
school reunions, and I was like, "Yeah, mine is coming up here and I was off by 10 years, and that's not a good thing."
Oh
Ooh,
no,
yeah.
yeah. I'm so sorry.
Oh man,
I've got my
I'm
next year
so
is
sorry.
20 years for me, and that sounds like absurd when I think about school. And maybe it's the same for you guys.
I got another 10 years on you on that one, so
But looking at the career and when you guys like really hit your strides, like coming up when you've had 20 years since your biggest albums, that's
Mhm.
Mhm.
absolutely wild. Does it feel like that long for you?
No,
Yeah.
not for
Yeah,
me.
I don't think
Like,
so.
yeah,
Yeah, parts of it feel like we have had like we've been doing it forever, but the time, like the amount of like the fact that it's been 10 years since we've released anything is kind of maddening to me. Like I'm like, oh
Hmm.
shit, it's been that long. Holy, like
yeah. Where did that time go? That went
yeah,
really fast
exactly.
for me.
Because we basically did 10 years where we released records and then 10 years where we haven't,
Yeah,
which is crazy to
that's
me. Like,
crazy.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
also think you touched on before, like the COVID factor is something that I think threw a lot of people out. Like obviously in Australia, we had a little bit more stringent rules. So we didn't have travel and tours here for almost 3 years, which was absolutely
Mhm.
insane. That's a huge chunk of time. Like 3 years is a considerable
that
amount of time
is.
to not have stuff go on. And same thing for you guys of not having the same like routine. But it also at the same time feels like it didn't really happen. Like it was a huge time, but everyone's like, oh, it's just COVID. But COVID was a huge time frame. So when you take that
Mhm.
out of that 10 years, it does add a considerable factor.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it was
true.
crazy for us too because we had just gone on hiatus and just come out of like doing that and decided that we were going to do it again. And we did a massive tour, and then COVID literally the shutdown happened like a week after we got back from that tour
That's
or
crazy.
something. It was ridiculous. It was pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
that was
And
crazy.
if that hadn't happened there, we probably would be already released stuff and our whole trajectory would have changed, I feel like, because those 3 years just made everybody go back into this weird phase where we're like, what are we? What are we doing? You
Sure.
know,
Yeah, the momentum was
kind
gone.
of, yeah, just like, well, yeah, and the momentum of like, we were coming back, it just really changed our everybody's vibe. But also, if we hadn't had that tour right before that, we wouldn't have survived. Like, it saved our
Yeah,
lives, man.
we got so
Holy shit.
lucky.
Yeah. Wow.
Talk to me now about being a few years out. And I think the thing that COVID did, particularly for, I'm going to say our generation, I'm tying myself into you guys because once you're over like 30, it's all the same, is that this era of pop punk, emo adjacent music has had this huge boom, this huge resurgence of nostalgia, but also like a newer audience. And there's bands coming out that have that sound. Have you seen that flow and effect into the audiences that are coming to see you and an upswing in like, I mean, streaming didn't exist when you guys stopped almost 10 years ago.
Really?
It
Yeah, I
wasn't as
didn't.
big a thing. So
Mhm.
like, have you seen that flow and effect because of that?
I mean, it was definitely for a while. We weren't doing any like we played those shows or whatever, and then we weren't doing anything because of COVID and everything. But when that kind of surge was happening, and I didn't really know, my finger wasn't on that pulse or whatever. But we started looking at our streaming numbers, and they started creeping up to like higher and higher numbers for a period of time. There was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, we're not doing anything to make that happen. And then just like the festivals that have come up and all the big shows here that have gone really well, and our tours have been good. Yeah, like it definitely feels good. So I mean, and it doesn't feel like people are just like bailing on that idea, like it was just a phase to come back to it. It just feels like
Yeah.
people were like, oh, this now people understand that like these bands could go away and never come back. And so it's if you want to support and come out and go to rock shows, you got to come out. And there's been a little bit of fatigue, I think, here in the States because everybody went on tour like for every moment of every day
Yeah. Yeah.
for a couple years there. And so I think there's a little maybe there's a little bit of a hit here where people shifted their game plans a little bit because it got real busy and people toured their brains out without doing anything or releasing new music and stuff. So,
Yeah. And there's also an
um,
economic shift from like the people coming to watch shows. They can't afford to go to every single tour that happens.
well, and
That's
shows have gotten extremely expensive, and it's not because the artists are trying to gouge anybody. I mean, some might be, but the reality is like everything's really expensive. Like,
yeah,
like our costs have gone through the roof, and we're trying our best not to put that on our consumer because it's not really about that. We want to play rock shows and have fun, but we do need to make it work where we can keep this as our job because otherwise we can't do it really. So it's a
yeah,
really complicated thing. People are like, "Oh, these tickets are so expensive for these bands," and I'm like, or like one of those big festivals, and I'm like, if the festival's paying everybody well, like it's fine. If you're getting the kind of show you're getting, it's really what the value of that ticket is. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of a tough game, but yeah, how can you afford to go to three shows that cost you $500 a piece? Like that's crazy, right?
yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I can't. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Mm-mm.
Like, so I don't know how other people could do that. Um, but there's plenty of great music out there still doing 30, 40, $50 shows. I mean, we're doing that at best we can. I mean, we're playing a festival that's super expensive. I don't expect people to come pay for that. And if they don't, they should just come to a regular show because we're never going to be outlandishly expensive. I mean, we can't really do anything about fees. I mean, we're kind of
Yeah.
stuck. The system is the system, and it's kind of brutal. We could do
Yeah.
our best to try to fight it, but it's like all tied together in such a way that it's like becomes a, a terrible thing to deal with. I
Do
don't
you
know.
think the US audience is understanding of that? Because as an Australian, like the shows here, we understand that we're as far away from everyone as you can possibly be, and people understand the costs,
Mm-hmm.
even if they like don't like it. Like we had Bad Omens. They're like a big band in the metal scene. They played here
Mm,
last week. Tickets were $160 Australian for that show, and there was three bands,
wow.
but it's sold out. And I think it's because people
Yeah.
go, yeah, it's expensive, but there's a huge production that happens. They've got to bring everything over. There's a whole tour. Like, I think the audience is becoming a little bit more savvy to that. Are you
Mm-hmm.
seeing that in the States as much, or is it a bit more like, it's just why are you charging so much?
I think it just depends. I think people expect value for their shows. I think if you bring the value for the show, the price isn't really become an issue
Yeah,
as
cool.
long as you're not getting in crazy. I mean, the problem is like the arena size shows like those, which are crazy expensive. So I don't understand how people can get, but it gets really crazy. Like some tickets are like $500 for a GA ticket on the floor, and
Yeah,
that's just crazy. But and and at that scale, I do think there's probably a little bit of a
yeah,
you know numbers that are trying to get the right artist to the right I don't know. There's a lot going on there, but I think generally I haven't had people reach out to us and tell us that we're charging too much for our show, but we also are also constantly worrying about our value we're giving them. Like we want to bring
sure.
cool new bands that people don't know of as much as other bands because we want to be able to do that. But you got to be careful because we also have to bring a band that brings
Adds
enough
value.
value to the ticket so that
Yeah,
people want to come see you. Not that those other bands don't have value. I think they're total value, but it's a really tough game to try to like. And our size is a really weird balancing act. Because I think if you're a little bigger, you can do whatever the hell you want than we are. And if you're smaller, you're fighting your fight. So like
yeah,
I think our size of a band is kind of a strange spot. Like um for kind of battling this, like you want your shows to sell out and you want your tickets to be not too expensive and you want to bring enough value, but we also have to try to like cover our bases and make enough money the amount of time we tour. It's a whole balancing act, and I don't like it to be all about business.
but there
But
is
I don't think
there is a huge element that I think people are starting to get wrap their heads around that like the music business is a business. Bands are their own businesses and companies, and there is a lot more to touring than just being like and go play a show and hope to have fun. Like there's so much behind the scenes there. With that being said, doing a like support tour for like Yellowcard, for example, does that take some of the strain out of the equation for you guys? Like obviously
hell yeah.
they're flying you over, but is that an exciting thing?
Yeah, even here when we did the Rejects tour in the summer, like playing for 30 minutes and not having to worry about anything is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Like
cool.
you just get up there, you rip through your set and you walk away and like we don't have to do any VIP stuff. We don't have any of that stuff. It's not our show, so we don't get to do those type of things, which is normally our days are full. Not that we're complaining. I love everybody that we get to meet and everything. It's just like even Justin, who's not here, our singer, it's like his favorite type of touring. If he could pick any type of touring, he would love to just play for 30 minutes and have nothing to do.
Sure.
more than
Okay.
that. Because
Yeah,
then he
great.
doesn't have to worry about his voice. He doesn't have to like be super
Yeah.
vigilant on every
Yeah.
detail.
Pressure's
'Cause,
off.
yeah, 45 minute set. I think this is what we're gonna play at that tour. It'll be great. And it's like and the promoter is awesome and has worked with us to make it work so that we can get this done and come out there. And to be honest, it's really like literally going to Australia. It's more about us being there and doing something cool, and kind of getting our thing to it. Because as a non-headliner, we're not really going to make anything, but it's okay because I want to come over there, and it allows us to come back maybe for one of the festivals in a year from
That's
now,
exactly what
hopefully,
I was
and
going to
stuff
say.
like
Like
that.
it re-ups the like, hey, here we are, we're still going, and you can just be like, come out, do your thing, impress, and then go, cool, let's use that as the foot up for next time. With that being said, how do you go about picking the set list for this sort of thing? Because it's a shorter time frame, you got to be more concise with what you're playing. Are you just being like all the hits, or are there any like the bands
It's
decide we
really
want to play
tough.
this?
It's really tough to be
It
like
is tough.
not just play the songs that are going to go over well. We have these arguments all the time. Like some people, are really adamant that we should play these certain songs and not other songs. And like, some people are like, I want to throw these wild cards in. And then when we're up there, we're like, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, we should have done this.
Too late.
Well, but it's also, we want to have fun. It's a tough game. I have fun playing songs that the crowd reacts to. That's all I'm really there enjoying about it. It's
Sure.
like if the crowd is into this and it's fun to like, that's the only thing that I like really get. Like I don't, from it. I know someone like Justin has a hard time even connecting beyond, between songs, because during the song he's going through so many things in his head that he doesn't necessarily like. So for him, he's less about like that because he barely knows what's going on during the set or remembers it, just because that's how he is as a person. But for me, I need it to rock, and I need it to be a lot of fucking fun, or be like, it can be slow too. But I don't know.
Does playing, like you mentioned, like Justin's
Oh,
being in his own head, but is there any like consideration from the whole band of being like, okay, vocally this is a hard to go from this to this? Is that part of the like challenges they put in the set list?
It's kind of
it's kind of the biggest thing.
part of it.
Yep. Yeah, great.
We definitely have to work with him. I mean, he's got a really hard job. He really does. So we definitely have to like keep all that stuff in mind and keep like the crowd, the energy flow, like, the excitement, what's fun for us to play, all of these things. But we definitely have to work with Justin and like consider his, like how tired he's going to be by this point, or all that stuff. Yeah. It's
he usually informs us. He kind of informs us if we wrote a set and it was like too wonky. He'll tell us.
Yeah.
Even Tony will be like that. It's like, hey, we can't start with this song. I need to warm up first.
Sure.
Because we love to start with songs that are just like blazing fast. And Tony's like, hey, dudes, like we're not 18. We're not 18. I need to like, my muscles need to warm up. And I totally understand, because even some songs that aren't fast, but I have to play fast in my hand, like, just the adrenaline rush right at the start, like my arm will seize up and I'll be like, I gotta shake my hand and I can't even shake it because I'm the only person playing right now. This is not good. I do not like this. Like it's the reality. So you learn what it is, and you work around our stuff, and we also want to shake it up because we've been doing the same shit for so long. That's really hard to be like, okay, we're gonna start the set with the song that we've started the sets with 100,000 times.
Yes.
Part of me is like okay with that, but part of me is like, I don't want people to get bored that are in our band either.
I was say it's people in the band, but do you think the audience has that, or do you think the audience is always like, play the song that we wanted you to play first every single time?
I've never heard anybody say that, so I don't know.
I don't know, Matt.
No, I know that. I heard that. I want to wake them the fuck up right when we start, and I also don't want to start with a song where if they're warmed up and we start playing that song, they're gonna lose their fucking shit. But if we start with it, people aren't there yet, like their excitement isn't like exploding yet.
Yeah.
So we have a few like quick, fast ones that are really fun to play. I mean, Attracted Day we played Out of Our Minds first for like ever, just because it starts the set super well. But that's one where Tony's like, dudes, like, I don't need to play that song. It's really fast. It has one of the craziest fills in it. Like, give me a second.
Okay.
Let's play something else. So we're trying other things out.
You don't ever play that you really wish you did? It can be individual answers here. I don't need to have a consensus.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know you kind of stumped us. I don't have any regrets. I don't think of anything that we didn't play. I mean, we definitely There's some
The songs,
deep
yeah, sorry.
cuts that. No, you're fine. I'm kind of just floundering here,
I have
trying
like
to
the
answer
opposite
this.
problem. I had a song that I thought would go over really well all the time. Well, like Go, our record Go, we wrote that kind of in the studio and never really got to flush it out and play live a lot. Like we
Sure.
did, but we
Hmm.
were like in the studio and then we kind of just moved forward and kind of constructed the songs the way we needed to and then played it, but wasn't like ever
Jammed.
vibed out. And
Yeah.
there's a song on that, like that Timeless song, which I love that song, and on the record it's great and it's fun. Um, but man, that one's a hard one to play in front of people because it doesn't have the beat that I thought it did. Like it's hard to move to that song at a pace that feels like exciting. Although
Sure.
one time we played it in South Korea and it was fucking amazing, and they had no idea what the song was.
Yeah.
They were like
They were just
it was
bouncing.
right up their
Right.
alley. They're bouncing and chanting
Love
with the
that.
beat, and I was like, this is fun.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
that's a song that I thought would be a lot more like reactionary than it was.
Yeah.
But deep cuts, I mean, there's songs that no, I think we play most things all over. I mean, it's just some songs we get into a little bit of stuff where like one guy doesn't want to play it ever, or a couple guys, and then it's a little bit harder to play those songs because
Yeah.
people are like, no, I don't want to do that. And it's usually our more punkish old stuff that is like really more punk, like way more
Yeah.
unhinged than the rest of our stuff, which is understandable. Like I was really excited to play 1,000 Paper Cranes on this I Am the Movie tour. And then when we started doing it, I was like, you know what? I don't need to play this.
I'm like, we're good. We're good.
I was like, I thought this was more fun than it is. It's not fun.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I felt the same way. I was like, this just doesn't feel like it used to. I don't know
It
what's
didn't
going on.
feel right. So I don't know if something changed
Yeah.
or we like
Yeah.
it just didn't
20
feel
years.
right.
20
And
years
I
is
was
what
like,
changed. That's
20 years is
Well,
what changed. Yeah.
I mean, it was a
Yeah.
B-side. It was we left it off the main release, so I get it. And yeah, it's just a different, yeah, you grew up as people and it's just a different thing
Yeah.
now. But yeah, there's no songs where I'm like, God damn it, I wish we'd play this. Because usually I just want to play the crowd pleasers. I love doing
Yeah.
that. I'm not
Yeah.
there to like educate someone or something. I'm there to have fun with them and give them a show that's
Yeah.
fun.
That's
Interact.
what this sort of
Yeah.
tour is great for that.
Mhm.
Because as you said, you're just there to entertain. You're not there to be like, okay, you're a fan that's been with us the whole time. Here's the song that I know you guys want right here. Do you ever put the feelers out to your fans, to the audience, to be like, hey, what do you guys want to see here? Like try and make it a collaborative thing? Or is that not of interest?
We've done it a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did it. Usually, if someone hardcore requests something for a good reason, and they're like, "Guys, like, I need to hear this song," we'll try to play a song like that for people
Yeah.
sometimes if we got that message or something. And then a few times we would ask people, but the funny thing is, most people just say, "Like, everything's all right." And you're like, "Come on, guys, we're gonna play that fucking song."
Yeah.
But usually, there's a few songs like that, like Antonia. People ask for that one because we don't play it all the
Mhm.
time.
Love that song.
Songs
Happy if you
like
played
that,
that
yeah.
song.
It's a fun song, but it's a real medium tempo.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that you don't think of like, oh, we got to put this song in the set. Definitely, it's like if people ask for it, we'll play it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we roll. Like if people can reach out to us, I mean, we're pretty reachable on the internet and stuff. It doesn't mean we'll always do it, but like sometimes on some tours, like this one, like if we weren't playing "Hold Me Down" for some reason, because we're opening, if someone was like, "You guys should play "Hold Me Down," we'd play it for sure. If
You guys should play Hold Me Down. Does that count?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is we forget that that's a big single. Like Tony was like, "Dudes, it's a single. We should be playing this." I'm like, "Oh, you're right. It was one of our bigger songs." It's like, "Oh yeah, it is."
Sure,
it is.
You said there something that I want to ask about, and it's the being reachable to fans, because that's something that has changed dramatically since when you guys were first on the scene to this time around. Social media plays such a huge role. How do you feel about social media in this day and age for the band's engagement, growth, connection to the fans?
We're just so bad at it. like to be honest, it's just like not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard because everybody's like busy, and it's hard for people to focus on that. Like, I just had a call about it the other day, and plus we were like out of the loop as a band through the whole TikTok thing. We weren't a band for the beginning of TikTok, basically. So when that whole thing happened, we weren't doing it. I think back in the day, if we had been on tour during that phase and stuff, we probably would have been making funny little videos because we were pretty goofy and making weird shit all the time.
Yeah.
Now it's a little harder because everybody's got their lives and their home life and whatever they're like. Some people have open businesses, some people are writing music, some people are doing 1,000 different things. So it's just it's hard to deviate. We're kind of in this weird spot where we're just kind of shifting back to being more not just a touring thing again. Like we've been making music and stuff. So we're kind of always in this shift. So we're just trying to figure that out right now. To be honest, we were really early adopters to stuff like that. Like back in
That's
AOL,
exactly what I was about to say.
Messenger, like
My
yeah,
memory of the band was that you always had that like fun playfulness, very quirky. Like the music itself suits that vibe. I think it's a very like easy transition. I get that it's hard to like stay consistent with it, but even when you're like on the road and those behind the scenes, I think there's such a huge potential for you guys to just do it in the way that you want, and that will show through like this integrity there that I think the audience and like newer people will appreciate. It's being like kind of just let in a bit more and to be like, oh, like these guys are pretty fun. And the whole conversation about a beard at the start, there's a snip. That's a thing you put up and people will find that fun.
Well, we did those like webisodes back in the day too.
Yeah.
We should just be posting those all on Instagram and stuff because it's like we were all about that stuff and all about this fun shit. But it's the hardest part is that we're just not all we're a full-time, not full-time band. So like if we were on tour all the time and like rehearsing and like working all the time, it'd be a lot easier for us to be like, because Justin, comes up with all this goofy shit, is a weird, funny dude. If I whip out my camera, he'll do stuff, but I'm just not around him that often. He's a busy guy and he's hard to get a hold of. And lately it's just been like, we've been working on an album and writing songs. And it's like getting him to come work is like my only priority. Like if I can get him near me, we got to work. And until more recently, it's just been a challenge. So it's been a little harder to have the fun part when it's been so, but I'm excited for like the next tours and stuff. Cause I really we do need to bank a lot more fun, goofy stuff like we did back in the day. And we always have fun ideas and we always do really dumb shit that is funny to us. Maybe nobody else will love
dumb
it.
Shit here. So if you need help doing dumb shit, we're here. You're coming. We'll make it as dumb as you like.
Awesome.
Love it.
Talk to me about new music. That's so exciting. How's that process going?
Oh my God, we're so close to the end. We're so close.
Yeah, we've been working on a record literally for a fucking year. We've been working on a record. And that's not the way to do it. If my advice to you guys, any of you in the world, don't fucking
unless you like going insane.
Unless you like going insane, especially if people are like people that just disappear or busy doing things or fall. I should give people a break. I mean, everybody's going through their own shit, and it's just been really tough to get to the finish line because normally we have pretty hardcore deadlines when we do stuff like this, and it just kind of forces you to finish, and you do it all at once, all together. This time it kind of started with us talking about it, and then Matt and I talking about it and working. I talked to a producer, and I kind of just like, I'm booking time. I just realized that nobody's telling us what to do anymore. Like I'm the only guy around. Like I used to do that stuff, but we had managers forever. But nobody's like, everybody's like, you guys should make music. And then we were like, yeah, we wanna. And then we just weren't doing it. And I was like, you know what? Oh, it's on me. I gotta book some time. So I just booked time with the producer, and we went and made 4 songs. And afterwards, we were all like, fuck yeah, this was a lot of fun. And then we started the process of making the rest of a record, and it's just been a slog. But I will say that I think I think it's really fucking good. I think it's going to be fucking great. I think it's going to be a high bar. I know we have a high bar to reach to a lot of people because they hold a lot of our records at certain levels. Everybody has a different favorite one that you have to appease them when they're talking about it. It's like, well, it's not as good as this one. But I think this record is a great comeback to making music for our band. It's not a piece of shit. We released
stoked to hear that. Yeah,
we released one.
That's where we set the bar.
Yeah, no pieces of shit.
Anything above the piece of shit line, we're happy with.
We released one song we had written for the record, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen in the end now. I don't know because it was so long ago that we released one song.
It was a while,
yeah. So that was part of the 4 songs that we recorded originally, and that song was chosen by them out of those 4 songs. It wasn't necessarily like the song that we would have been like, we're leading with our new single. I love that song. I think it's great. It's cool. It's a little different style of writing. Like it's definitely a little more, the structure is a little stranger than most songs that we tend to write, which I really liked about it. But and I'm excited for how it turned it out. And I'm really glad they wanted a song from us, and we were able to make that all work. But that was, that's the kind of production level that it's the same guy who made that is what we're making now, and we've been making with him. That is it's literally part of the same sessions. I'm really excited for the record. I can't wait till we actually finish it.
That's a great way to segue into just you guys coming out here, because giving people a taste. Here's what we are about. Here's where we were, and there's new stuff coming. So
there is.
Yeah.
There is.
We're pumped.
Exciting.
We can't wait to have you out here. It's coming up very shortly.
We can't wait to
do it's very soon.
So thanks for taking the time. I know you guys are in evening now, and we'll get some hang time when you guys are down here. Do some dumb shit.
We will.
We love dumb shit.
Come find us at the show you come to. Say hi.
We will.
Go.
All right.
Please.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, gents.